Pearlescent Moon is back for Empire Season 2, but not in the way you think. 85% of you aren't subscribed. Rumors are if you subscribe, Whip will let me join Empires. At the start of Season 2, we began to get a little worried when Pearl's seat was left empty around the campfire of Emperors, and we were sad to find out that she wouldn't be returning as a player on the server. With Pearl busy with her other series, such as Hermitcraft, it is likely that she just didn't have the time to give for this season of Empires, so we don't hold anything against her for not being able to join. We also have to give kudos to False Symmetry this season after she bravely stepped up to take Pearl's place as she produced Empires SMP and Hermitcraft content at the same time. Much like Pearl had to do during Season 1, it's a lot of work making videos on 2 different SMPs at the same time, so we just hope that False doesn't feel too overworked this season. So anyways, even though Pearl isn't a player this season, her presence has still been felt throughout the season. The first echoes of Pearl's presence on the server could be seen during Pixel Rift's 9th episode on the Empires server. While he didn't mention who it was supposed to represent at the time, Pixel Rifts constructed a statue in his empire, the ancient capital, dedicated to Pearlescent Moon. Statue, however, had 1 Lightwing and 1 Shadowwing, which Pixel Rifts described represented the struggle between the uncertainty and nobility of death. In other words, the Lightwing represented the beauty and peace that can come with death, while the Darkwing represented the fear and despair you feel when you are in the face of death. Pixel Rifts liked the idea that the statue has been preserved over time by some form of unnatural magic, which is why it hasn't crumbled nearly as much as it should have.
The remainder of the statue is left standing and perhaps has been preserved unnaturally by some kind of magical force that's inherent to the building process or something that is buried here. I don't know.
Next time we see the statue is in episode 14 of Mythical Sausage's series, where Sausage finds the statue after stumbling upon Pixel Rift's empire, admiring it and stating that it looks slightly familiar. After making his way deeper into the catacombs of Pix's empire, Sausage discovered a mysterious tombstone dedicated to himself and a mural on the wall dedicated to La Madre de Grasos, or the Mother of Sunflowers in English. A note underneath the mural requested that the Mother of Sunflowers grant someone a bountiful harvest in their next life. Following this, Sausage received a flashback to his past life on Empire Season 1, where Lord Sausage of Mythland practiced combat with Farmer Pearl of Gilded Helianthia in preparation to face down Zana. The two were great friends back during Season 1 of Empires. Pearl and Sausage were almost inseparable from each other. After his flashback faded, Sausage returned to his empire, claiming he will remember what he just experienced. As far as I can tell, the sausage buried in the catacombs of the ancient capital is likely for Lord Sausage from Season 1 of the Empires, and after he died, someone dedicated his tomb to the Pearlescent Moon, who was now revered as some kind of goddess on the Empire server. Does that mean that Pixel Rift's ancient capital might actually be the remains of the Mythlands from Empire Season 1? I mean, why else would the catacombs house a tomb dedicated to Mythical Sausage and have a statue dedicated to Pearlescent Moon? While there's no way to know for sure, I can't help but wonder if there's a connection there. It seems that whoever built the tomb has asked Pearl to bless Lord Sausage the next time he reincarnates, which explains why, as far as we can tell, Mythical Sausage of Sanctuary has had interactions with Pearl since the moment he had the crazy vision. Anyways, we have theorized in the past, after Farmer Pearl of Gilded Helianthia withered away at the end of Season 1 of Empires because of the Gremlin's explosion destroying her kingdom, she ascended to godhood because she has a heart of gold for those in need. Following this, we've theorized that Pearl ruled over the Afterlife SMP as the afterlife for the members of the Empire server until they were reincarnated as the new characters for Season 2. We have even seen Pearl on the Afterlife SMP through her interactions with Angel Sausage, her #1 disciple, who built a church in her honor. After Angel Sausage was resurrected at the end of the series, he was even given a sword blessed by Saint Pearl, which was the angel used to slay Joey Graceffa, a Grim Reaper who was causing death and destruction on the Afterlife server. At the end of the series, Angel Sausage ascended to the heavens to live out the rest of his days with Pearlescent Moon, and he can be seen once again when Ollie visited Pearl in the heavens asking her to bring Angel Sausage back from the dead. Pearl refused to bring Sausage back as he was currently sleeping, as she put it. We can be very sure that this is the same Pearl from Season 1 because Goddess Pearl shares the same skin as her character from Season 1 of Empires, a skin fully decked out in sunflowers. Perhaps by allowing Sausage to ascend to the heavens sessions on the Afterlife server, Pearlescent Moon was preparing his soul for the bountiful harvest she promised for his next life in the Empire's world. His next episode in his series, Sausage had another flashback after meeting Ollie on the Empire server. This time, Sausage remembered being Angel Sausage on the Afterlife server, and he had a vision of Ollie playing the keyboard inside the Church of St. Pearl. After returning from his vision, Sausage remarked how the church reminded him of a church from his former kingdom that worshipped a goddess of sunflowers. Fast forward to episode 17 on his series, due to the numerous visions he had of the goddess, Sausage built the Cathedral of St. Pearl. Sausage remarked how he had hoped that the St. Pearl loved the work he had done on her cathedral, and for a brief moment, Pearl appeared to Sausage on the Empire server, congratulating him on doing a good job. But before Sausage could respond, Pearl disappeared before his very eyes.
Hopefully St. Pearl loves this thing because I do. This thing is fantastic.
Oh, I sure do. It's absolutely wonderful, Sausage. You did a fantastic job.
Pearl?
In the 19th episode of Sausage's series, the Great Witch Shelby tried curing Sausage of all his strange visions by giving him a potion of weakness and feeding him a golden apple. But to her dismay, Sausage was transformed into a zombie. After this, Sausage headed to the cathedral to help find a way to return him to life, and Sausage received a message from St. Pearl to find a totem of life to bring himself back from the dead. After following Pearl's directions, Sausage discovered an ancient summoning circle, similar to the one Lord Sausage had back in season 1 of Empires, where he created a raid farm and received the totem he would need to bring himself back. Thankfully, it worked like a charm, and Sausage was restored to his human self. It looks like St. Pearl has big plans for Sausage this season, so she refuses to let anything bad happen to him. So, what could Pearl be planning for Sausage this season? Well, according to Mythical Sausage of Sanctuary's backstory, his father figure and the legendary blacksmith, the Great Edmundo, or Eddie, told Sausage to run away on the night of the Great Purge because he believed that Sausage was far too important to be caught by the evil king. There was something special about Sausage, something that Eddie couldn't tell him at the time in the heat of that fateful night. What if maybe, just maybe, Sausage is destined to be the champion of St. Pearl this season of Empires, much like Scott of Rivendell was destined to be the avatar of the god Eeyore during the last season of Empires. What could Pearl be preparing Sausage for? Well, if we know that Eeyore was preparing Scott for an enemy in the character of Zarnath, I'd like to think that there is some unknown force on the rise on the Empire server that stands in direct opposition to the goddess Pearl. Perhaps the evil king from Sausage's old kingdom is the one who Pearl is preparing Sausage to defeat. Could the evil king serve an evil god that we have yet to learn about? If not the evil king, could the god of Stratos be the evil god who will oppose Pearl this season? We know that, just like Pearl, Smallish Beans originally was a human who ascended to godhood after he took a dip in the Fountain of Strength. If you have seen one of my recent videos, you will know that we have good reason to believe that Joel will be the villain for this season of Empires. We also know that Joel and Sausage are the two fathers of the demigod Hermes, so it might be interesting to see the two dads face off against each other in a battle while their son is right in the middle of it all. Finally, maybe, just maybe, it might be the great god of Jeremyism granting Joel his power this season, especially since he just built a temple dedicated to that very god. So we might just see the battle between the champion of Pearl and the champion of Jeremy.